Now, idiot don't understand that in three places of the Bible, Tamar with Judah, Samson with a harlot who he went into at dawn, dusk, I guess, dawn, dusk, and came out at midnight. He's in there for about 6 hours, honey. And she's a harlot, right? You usually pay to play with them. Now, Hosea was commanded of the Lord to get a wife of whoredoms, right? Or a harlot as well. Okay. Now, he got her, had 2 children with her, a boy and a girl. Right? And then in chapter 3, it talks about it somewhat oddly, though I don't know if he didn't get another woman either. I don't know. But it talks about him paying for her for 15 shekels of silver, a homer of barley, and a homer and a half. Barley is a homer and a half, right? And a half a homer of barley, right? Or a homer and a half, right? Okay? Now, this is an ancient Hebrew language, though. But 3 men, and about the 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established, went in unto a prostitute and paid her for that and married her. Though again, the idea is she was to only be for him and him for her. Now, okay, we don't know any more about that because he starts prophesying, right? The book don't tell you any more details than what it tells you too, right? Just that he did with one woman, he had a boy and a girl. The second woman, I don't know if that was still Gomer or not, but that's her name. Alright? I'm not talking about Gomer Pyle UMC either. Or Jim Neighbors, right? Wherever that thing was. But, okay. Right. But again, the whole point is, in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established. So if you have 3 men who went to a prostitute, even though it was Judah and Tamar's his daughter-in-law, right? The reason for that is he was supposed to raise up seed to the son that died. The second son spilled the seed and was killed in a mishap somehow, right? Now, don't think he spilled the seed and then dropped down dead. No, that's, you're, superstitious about the incident. But what it means, though, is he died shortly unexpectedly, too, right? Now, the youngest son was supposed to then follow in the steps of the 2 other brothers who died, right? This is again going to the story about the woman who had 7 men to wife. Again, all 7 had her. And 7 demons or devils were cast out of Mary Magdalene. You figure that one out. What does that mean? What does that mean? And yet, the woman caught in the act of adultery is brought to Jesus. Are you Jewish? Asshole! No. Well, guess what that means? That was Jesus' wife. That was Jesus' life. In fact, that's the first word John uses when they caught her in the act. They caught wife in the act of adultery. You understand? Whose wife? Jesus's. She was the one they brought to him as the husband, right? To determine whether to stone her. Or not. Like with Mary and Joseph. Now, if you're misinterpreting something for 2,000 years, and the Gnostic and Orthodox get involved, and to begin with, Jesus did try to explain it all to them before he left. But he only had 40 days, huh? I know, Peter. That's weird. And I talked to him as if his spirit is still alive today, and the spirit of Peter is our problem. Oh no, trust me. John's telling you, we're not telling you everything Jesus did. But we're telling you these that you might believe that he's the Son of God. Right. Okay? He's admitting this might not fully convince you what we're saying here, but no. And we might not be telling you everything, but we're trying to. Someone's interfering. But who has the bigger conversation there? Before that, Peter. And what is Jesus telling him to do? Love his sheep. Love his sheep. Now, Jesus is using big words. He's using agape. Finally, he said his own philia. Philia is feminine, by the way. If you know anything about the Greek. No. That's sisterly love, not brotherly love. By the way, true. But like I said, you can try to tell people after 2,000 years they're not telling you everything, they're still not going to want to hear it, right? It's all you can do is try. I know. You don't want to hear it all. And you're being stubbornly resistant like Satan is teaching you to be. That's why it's called the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. The other tree is the tree of life. Who do you think they are in the characters throughout the Bible? One is the angel of the Lord, and one is the angel of death. One is trying to kill your ass, and one is trying to save your ass, so you're following him into sin enough that he can't really do much about it. Because see, once Satan killed his mortal body, it became mortal for us all to die. It's again the point of something. Ezekiel points out how he went down to the grave, kind of like a suicide type situation there. Too, if you hear what he's saying in the terminology of the Hebrew. Now, he's not saying it in an American word as suicide. That word did not exist back then. Do you understand? Right. There is no word for suicide in the Hebrew, right? But that's basically what he's saying when he said he went down into the grave. He committed suicide, right? In ancient Hebrew terminology, right? That's how he became the angel of death, the grim reaper, if you will. Right. But again, Jesus also came, right? Also tried to save us, also is trying to teach us forgiveness of sin, not condemnation of sin. And that's why on the cross he said, Father, forgive them, they know not what they do. And that's part of why he's resurrected too. Right? Okay? But John is still admitting they're not telling you everything verbatim. Which is what? Line upon line, precept upon precept. In a language you could even understand now. Right. So that means you got to put yourself in someone else's shoes. Not think of it how you see it today. Or you're going to fuck it up. Not just for you, but for everyone around you. And that's when it gets real serious. Kanye, or Kim, or family, right? See, I'm in Georgia. I don't mess with nobody. I can keep to myself. I behave, right? Even when Kim released her little film, her little pictures in Playboy, right? Though she, again, can't re-release those, but she can do other images, which I got those too now. But again, I'm not obsessed with Kim. I don't even try to get to a star of that stature, right? Whole point. Now, could Kim come show up my door and I'll recognize her through the peepholes? Yeah. Plural. That's to protect me. And anyone wanting to come back. At least until they're in the house. Once they're out the house, I mean, I don't know what the hell's going on. That might be when I'm being attacked. But there again, if someone comes visit you and they leave, they're a guest for the night. Remember? I'm showing you what it says of Samson, right? But I'm not having to pay anyone. It's free sex. I might be paying for a service associated with a business, right? But if I'm having sex with a female, it's free sex, right? We're not doing it for a price. That's the difference between consensual free sex and paid for sex, by the way, too. One you pay for, one you don't. Right. The paid for one is illegal. The free one is not. Damn. Simple as that. Now, I'm not trying to have sex with Doja Cat, or I don't even know her real name. You know what I mean? Like everybody else, I only know if she's calling herself Doja Cat. Like that's her real name. Now, could her name be Kathy or Katie or something like that, spelled differently with a C-A-T-E? I don't know. I don't know. That's a guess after that. Right. And it don't mean nothing. Now, but I am telling how I did Stephanie, and with Doja doing all that, maybe she wonders what it was like with me and Stephanie, right? But it again don't mean she can't fantasize of me or something, and me fantasize of her. But I don't know that, right? So you still can't pretend that the fantasy is anything but a fantasy, right? And that's the real problem. Now, if Constantine couldn't understand Jesus either, he's a Roman emperor 300 years after Christ. Okay. He's gonna understand all that? No. No. Probably not even a little bit. He gonna do something different. He gonna make it something he can understand. He gonna take scriptures he likes and put it in a pleasing form for you. To where you can understand what he's saying easier than what, say, the Gnostics were saying, which is also in there, but it's what's called the sealed scriptures, right? Which is first brought up in Isaiah. And no one can gainsay me either. Now, first, Jesus used agape us in John 21. But Peter uses filio.